Welcome to Around the Kinky Campfire podcast. This is your host, the Cuddle Gigolo, aka El Comidon, aka Mango Boogies, but also known officially as H.H. Julius, your entertainment creative. I'm here with Miss Rue, our education guru, and our goal in this podcast is to destigmatize the taboo topics of kink, non-monogamy, and BDSM. We like to educate through awareness and with our experiences, and we are not certified professionals as of yet. So our non-judgmental topics, with a dash of facts, are to be taken mostly as entertainment and with some slice of life anecdotal stories. Your opinions, lifestyles, and or way of thinking may not be in alignment with ours, but your opinion, lifestyle, way of thinking is also okay as well. And the fact that you have an opinion is valid. We're not here to change your minds. We are here just to provide a different point of view. Please join us every second and fourth Thursdays of every month, and our episodes are uploaded to all major platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, etc., etc. Please look forward to this coming episode, as it will start shortly, and make sure to especially pay attention to our ASR Minute, which will start very soon. Have you ever wondered to yourself there, campsters, if you wanted to try something new, and in our world, you want to try something kinky, and you'd be like, how do I know? How do I know if I like that? Well, I've wondered that thing myself. When I wanted to try something, I was like, I don't know if I like this. Do I like butt stuff? Gotta find somebody to try that with. I mean, you can try butt stuff with yourself, but it's like, how do I know I like giving the butt stuff? Well, you gotta go out there and try it. So today, kind of tangentially, we're going to talk about motivation. What motivates you? What's my reasoning for doing things? What is my motivation? Well, let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Around the Kinky Campfire Pillow Fort Sessions. This is your hostess with the mostest, El Comidon, the Cuddle Gigolo, and officially H.H. Julius. Back again with a new season of the Pillow Fort Sessions, and I'm going to be talking about motivation in this episode. Why do we do the things we do? You know what? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I like to talk. First of all, let's just get that right out of the way. And I like having a stage to talk from. If I don't have an actual stage, I'm just going to go ahead and make one myself. And anybody can, pretty much anybody can put a podcast out these days. And if you've been listening for all this time, thank you, subscribers. Thank you, campsters, for listening to what I have to say. I just want to say, even if I say something, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to agree with it. You can agree with it if you want to. You can believe it if you want to. But I'm just doing this because I like to talk. I do my research. I have feelings, and I want to put them out there. So here they are for you in podcast form. If you don't want to listen, then you don't have to. But if you do stick around, let me know what you think by giving it a rating. Go to Campfire Kinksters, both with K's, on IG, and let me know what you think on there. Hopefully I'll put a little post on there and you can reply on there in the comments. Let me know what you think about motivation, what gets you started, what are some things that get you to do the things you do. I know for me, I am a big fun person. That's delicious. I'll get into what I'm drinking here for a second because I know you all love that. But for me, fun is the number one thing. What energy is leaking out of me, out of my pores? Why is it leaking out of my pores? And what refills that energy? How am I absorbing it through my skin and the very ether that is the universe's universal energy and all that? I'm going to get into this right now. Many of y'all know the Pillow Fort sessions, a good 20-30 minute conversation I like to have myself, and you guys can eavesdrop. I give you consent to do that because we know here at Campfire, around the Kinky Campfire, consent is sexy. So you have my consent to listen in what I got to say. But we got to get to the official segment here, what everybody likes to know. What am I drinking? What's not sponsored this week? This week, from a little place called All Day, is Pure Aqua Sparkling Frost plus caffeine, strawberry citrus, energy drink. Got enough caffeine in here, even though it is a off-brand Pure Aqua. I don't know if you guys know, is more affordable. We'll say it that way, more affordable. I don't want to downgrade their quality or anything, but as long as it's effective drinking solution. Twice or nice brand from All Day. Here we go. Delicious. Okay. That is our ASMR 10 seconds there. Was delicious. I don't want to drink all of this because there is a lot of caffeine in this thing, so I'm not going to drink all of it right away. Bouncing off the walls before this 30 minutes is up. Okay, so motivation. As y'all know, I like to get down to the specifics, the scientific approach to this. There is an actual definition of what motivation is, and then there's a couple ways to express your motivation and get started. What fuels you to do the thing you do? So motivation is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something very specific. Get off that butt and do a thing. Whatever it is. I mean, there's many different definitions of what hobbies are. I prefer to think hobbies is something that you go out and do specifically. Not necessarily go out and do outside of your house, but it's just an action. It's an action. You're doing something. Basically, what's it. So you can go anything from being in a league, sports ball league, kickball, bowling, pool, whatever you want to do. And then also like consuming something. So some people think watching movies and TV shows and anime is a hobby. That can be a different thing. Comic books, manga, books in general, that could be a hobby. So I just think it's a hobby. It's just something that you do on a regular basis. Something you do for pleasure in your leisure. Is a more generic term or definition of what a hobby is. And for me, like I said before, gassy. Carbonation there for you folks. Something that you do, a hobby is something that you do, and what motivates you to do that? Mine is fun. And for me, fun is working on something that with like a higher goal in mind. So not just doing something, consuming something, or just producing something in general, but how do I get better at doing it? That's what I want to know. So another way, I guess you could say, is creating opportunities. So building a community is another motivation for doing hobbies. It's progress. And also, like for me, motivating me into doing something is there's some kind of like progress being done there. I like something where, watching a show could be considered a hobby, or watching movies, specific type of movies, specific genre movie. I know there's horror fans out there. So big main thing is there's not a lot of marketable metrics, recordable progress being done, but you can say, oh, I've watched this and I've read that, and that's a kind of progress there. Because when we're working, not all of us have like an actual, how many reports or projects have you done in this amount of time? I mean, you can go look it up, but you don't really get the sense of having done something and then moving on. That's a big thing about hobbies as well, because at least if you're like winning a competition or getting a trophy or something, it's like, ooh, I've done a thing and we've moved on to here and we're trying again. There's also the thing between like an art or creative mentality versus like a business mentality. So this is one of those things that like artists, like sculptors and painters and everything like that. The general sense is that it's done for you, like personally, versus like a business type thing is what other people want, and that's what you're giving to them, like a service or something like that. So for me, I like to combine both. So this is what you call like a side hustle. So that's kind of going out of the hobby realm, is going more into the side hustle thing. Basically, you're doing it for like monetary gain or some kind of uh, barter trade. You're getting something for what your hobby, quote unquote, at that point is. So you're leaning into the side hustle type thing. So where does your motivation come from? Is it an internal? Is therapeutic? Or are you getting something for it? For me, I like a little both. So hopefully it's something like, a podcast that people enjoy, and then not really looking to get something for it, but it does make it better. So a little like behind the curtain people. I'm not looking for like monetary gains from this, but the more monetary stuff that happens, then it improves the quality. You can get guests in that are a little bit more professional, I guess, and not just people I know or something like that, or one of us knows, and everything, the overall quality just goes up. So for me, this is very therapeutic. It's for me. Even if nobody listened, I would still do this. And numbers go up and down. Let's just say that, to be frank, and Susan, uh, that numbers go down, and that determines like sponsors and all those kind of things. But if I'm doing it for myself, then I have free form to do things. When you do like get professional and everything like that, you don't tend to be able to be free with what you say and what you do. And as you know, the topics we talk about here are very taboo. They're not super duper marketable. And I prefer to, for any kind of monetary gain, be non for profit. So it literally just goes back into the business and making it better. Editors would be nice, so then I can just create stuff without having to work on the specifics of it. So if you guys could tell, there's like breaks in between episodes and stuff like that, is because having to come up with content to do everything, producing and editing, and like takes time. So it's like if I could just whittle my job down to like one thing, I probably could get more stuff out there. So that would be nice to have like an editor. But back to motivation, more specifically, that could be a motivating thing right there. So it's relative. Motivation is an internal state that propels individuals to engage in goal-oriented behavior or goal-directed behavior. So internal states. How are you feeling, doing, and saying internally? What drives you? The driving force. One of the driving forces behind human behavior. Fuels competition and social connection, desire to continue toward meaning, purpose, and life worth living. So, fuels competition and social connection. I'm not super big on the competitive part, but I do like social connection. I know we've talked about on here the podcast convention, people hanging out with other like-minded people, and also in the kink and the non-monogamy worlds, or BDSM worlds, lifestyles, and all that, being with like-minded people. That is one of my big motivating things. Probably second to having fun is the community aspect of all the different hobbies that I have and or side hustles. Is the community, being around like-minded people. Love it, love it, love it. If I can get around my kinky folks and talk about all the kinky things and see all the different bits and bangles that people have in their nether regions, and being free and dressing how they want to. Love me a good costume. You rocking the puppy play, or you're a furry or something like that. Feel free to express yourself in Julius's presence. If you ain't hurting anybody non-consensually, then I gotta put that in there. If you ain't hurting anybody, it's like, wait a second, I'm in BDSM. Of course I'm hurting people, but it's consensual and they enjoy it. Nothing better when you play with somebody and they enjoy the bruises and the welts that you give them, and the bite marks and everything later on, and it's like, ooh, we get along, we can be friends because we do this consensually, and you giving and I'm receiving, or I'm giving and you're receiving, all mixed in together. We work well together. I love it. That's part of the motivation as well. Is for me, especially the social connection / community. What is the purpose in life? My purpose here, people, is to spread the information. That's where I get the name Julius from. Anybody heard the game called Paperboy on the it's NES, on the NES system? It's the name of the Paperboy on there. A little known fact that you guys didn't know is Julio. So I derived Julius from that. I give out the information. I'm literally here to give out information. If that's what you want is information, I'm here. I don't care if you agree or disagree with it, but you will have facts and opinions, and it will hopefully be entertaining at the same time for y'all. So here you go. You take this information and you do what you want with it. And my main point today is your motivation. Go out there and try the thing. So back to my original posited question. How do you know if you're into something? Well, you got to try it. But why? Why try it? Find out if it's fun for you. Do a little self-awareness check and be like, okay, I tried this thing. I went and got the rules and the guidelines and all the inner workings and how other people do it. So I tried it for myself. Did I enjoy it? My example was butt stuff. Tried butt stuff very recently. As far as I'm concerned, I'm old, and it was within the last 5 years or so. Tried butt stuff for the first time. I enjoyed it. I will not seek it out for myself, giving and or receiving. But I was like, okay, my partner at the time enjoyed it, and I constantly talk to people that like to do that thing. Not a super driving factor for them. I've had friends that, like, the rating game. If they're an 8 but they don't like butt stuff, now they're a 6, maybe a 5. And it's like, oh wow, I don't feel as passionately about that. But some people do. Some people love the butt stuff, and more power to them. And there's a line there where you get into the scat stuff, and it's like, ooh, that's a hard limit for old Julius here. But some people like it. What is your motivation? I am a big proponent of trying stuff. If I see something, which I usually do on a regular basis, I find new kinks all the time. Come across them, and it's like, that's interesting. No, I will not try insects because I hate bugs. But some people love the feeling of multiple legs crawling across their bodies and regions. And it's like, more power to you. Not for me, because I believe all bugs should be killed. If you are in my living space, crawling around, you do not need to be here. 4 legs or less. That's all the things that's allowed in my living spaces, okay? You do what you want, but everything else got to go. We got spray, we got chocolates. The chocolate. You get a chocolate popped off the foot and onto your thing if you got more than 4 legs in my presence. Telling you what right now. Okay? Okay, so motivation. Back to that. Why are you doing rope suspension? Why? So the smart people say it's a hierarchy of needs. There's a guy named that with the last name of Maslow. I forgot what his first name was. Back in 1943, who theorized that humans inherently are motivated to better themselves and move toward full potential because of needs, from hunger to love. So smart people would call that arousal. Doesn't necessarily have to be sexual, but it's a heightened state when you're hungry or in love or in heat or whatever it is. And that's where motivation comes from. I would say for most people it's a sense of comfort, to be comfortable. Humans in general do not like to be uncomfortable. So if you're not doing the rope suspension, that is a cooling, meditative, therapeutic practice for you. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, and you just have a general state of that's where you're supposed to be. Then go ahead and give it a try if you don't know what it is. And then some people, they make their lives out of it. I know I'm one of those people that I have to do it on a regular basis. I have to. I want to do it on a regular basis, along with like impact play or primal. Primal definitely is something that's like, that's part of me right there. It's going to come out at some point or another. And this guy Maslow, that it's based on your human nature. People want to strive to be comfortable, and you're aroused from that. Arousal doesn't have to just be sexual, but that's a big thing in human existence, that we want to be in a state of arousal, and then we want to get back to that place. That's what fuels us to do the things we do. People work now, used to hunt and gather for resources, but now we just, people have to work. You gotta get that money so you can pay for all the things. I know I enjoy food, kind of hard to enjoy food, especially good food, without some money. Also like living under the roof with central air, especially living down in the southern part of the U.S. and Florida. It gets hot. It's the hottest month of the year right now. And I like living in air conditioning, so I'm going to work for it. Motivating factor for me. Also, another thing is self-transcendence, so evolution. Tend to things beyond yourself. There's a ethereal part of it. There's people that like to volunteer to help out the general society out there. I'm not super motivated by that. If it's a byproduct of something I do, if I can help people out, that's why I talk to myself and record it and put it out on the internet. So hopefully I'm helping somebody with this information. somebody's getting something they never heard before with what I say, and they go out there and they try it for themselves. So this is one of those things that's like, ooh, motivation. Go out and try the different things. And then now, of course, we got to get into the scientific thing as where does motivation come from? So we know that motivation is like a human nature thing, but where exactly? Work compensation, enjoyment, curiosity, validation to avoid loss, avoid uncomfortability? That's all great questions, Julius. So just literally dig down into it. So we have a big spectrum here. It's an intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. Basically, intrinsic is something that is part of your identity. It's integrated into yourselves. It's constant motivation from within. People don't really know exactly where it comes from, but we know it's internally versus extrinsic. Any reason that somebody does something other than self-joy, you're doing it because you're getting something from it. So many of the questions I asked during this little talk with y'all is where are you getting it from and why are you doing it? Internally, for me, it's the fun. But some people, you make money from it. People applaud you, praise you for what you're doing. That could be another reason. So let me dive deep into the spectrum here. Intrinsic versus extrinsic. It's got to be like an ambitrinsic. You got an introvert and extrovert, an ambivert. So why not ambitrinsic? I would say I fall in there just because I'm doing things for my own self. I don't want to say self-worth, but self-identity. It comes from within, but if people are going to pay me for it, it's like, I'll talk some more. That's literally what it feels like to me. You like hearing what I say, the self-conscious, because I'm not super like extrovert type person that just can talk and talk and talk. If people ain't listening, then I'm probably not going to talk. But I think it's a sure sign is if they pay me to do it. People pay me to have or teach a class or do a TED talk or something. It's like, ooh, they want to hear what I have to say. I'm going to keep talking. So intrinsic for me specifically like rings real out and clear. So competence, there's like specific types of intrinsic and extrinsic. So I'm gonna talk about those. One of the intrinsic types is competence learning, like the process rather than the goal, going towards something or a reward. So they're motivated by learning and getting better towards goals instead of like the destination. So for me, that definitely hits home and true because I like all the different things leading up to the things. I'm not gonna lie, having a podcast that's like widely popular would be nice, but I like actually getting all the equipment and learning how to do it and like when to put episodes out and how often and how to talk and like what to say exactly. I love all the little guidelines and rules and stuff. So now a lot of people, especially on the creative side, are like, I don't like to do the thing. I just like to feel it and then do it. It's like, that's great for you. I'm a robot, not a pirate. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, that hooray for you. But I am definitely a robot. I am based on facts before I actually do something. I'm not super opinionated and based on feelings before I do something. I need all the rules and the guidelines and stuff. Give me all the basics. So when I was learning about podcasting, it was like, oh, you should do it weekly, yada yada, this time of the week with this equipment, and this is a whole package. Oh, we have this whole thing that has everything included. Then you got to put it on the site to do all. Oh, I love all that. I love all that. Ooh, more carbonation coming out. Good stuff. Okay, so for me, that's really what it is. So I'm 100%. I'm about the journey. Doesn't really necessarily need to be a destination. So I'll be tweaking the hell out of all this until the end of days, until I can't talk anymore. I'm mumbling to myself in the corner. I probably pooped a little, that kind of thing. Pooped and peed. That's my kind of thing. So as long as I can talk and people will, well, I can record it, I guess I should say. Nobody else has to record it. I'll record it myself, put it out there. That's fine. Another intrinsic type is attitude, desire to change the way you are or other people and how they think or feel. Engage in actions and interactions for feeling better. So that's one of the things motivated for fun. I don't really know why you care about what other people are doing. I guess if you can get them to change their minds or feelings, that's good. For me, that's amazing. Hold on one second here. I just realized what happened there. So hopefully that sounds a little bit better now. So for the last little 5 minutes here, you guys get great audio.
just kind of messed that all up. So hopefully now it sounds a little bit better. But as I was saying, basically, just skip all the rest of it and just skip to this part. Attitudes. Is it fun? And I do actually like for other people to have fun as well. So for me, having fun and then hopefully somebody gets something out of it and they have fun too would be great. And then we can all come together and build a community where everybody's just having fun doing things and talking. And then achievement is another motivation, intrinsic desire to pursue and achieve specific goals. So that's a little bit different than the competitive competence learning aspect because you have a goal in mind. Yes, I would like a goal. My goal is to appear on different podcasts and talk about all the different things I know. But once again, that's not really like, it's attainable, but it's not something that's not an end thing for me. So once I get that, I'm not going to stop. Because I still like talking. So that's part of my nature. I'm going to keep talking until the end of days. If people want to put me on their thing as well, then I'm cool with that. And then, okay, so yeah, that type of thing. Creative motivation, creativity or innate drive for creative expression. This is where like the artists are. Me creating something is making it entertaining. I call myself the entertainment creative. So there you go. That's what it is. As long as it's entertaining, I believe people will listen more often, which is something I like. So the more you listen, the more better it gets for me, I guess. I don't even know. You see me more often. I guess you could say that, or hear me more often. Creative, entertainment, that kind of thing. I just had a little ruminating thought and I went somewhere else. But for me, that's the practice part of it. Is there are rules to being entertaining. I know that's more of like a creative thing, but if you guys read a comedy handbook, stand-up comedy handbook, or go to a class, they actually teach you how to be a stand-up comedian. I know, shocker. You can go to class for this because it's a learned skill. Improv is another thing, sketch comedy, all those different things is a learned skill. You can practice it and be better. So I want to hear y'all being like, I can't be funny. No, you can learn. You might not be as good as the best person there, but there's always going to be somebody better than you doing that thing. But the question is, once again, do you find enjoyment out of it? Is it fun for you? Go do the butt stuff. Go do the butt stuff, people. Stick it in the booty or have it stuck in your booty. It's all great. And lastly, back to intrinsic, physiological, deep primal feelings, internal and external that are like outside of your control. So this is what makes you, you. This is the physiological. This is part of the thing where the nature thing, it's part of who you are. You don't have to explain it. You just like doing the thing because you like doing the thing. I both hate and love you people. I'm so jealous of the people that just can do stuff and like don't question why. They just do it. It's like, what the heck? No, that is not me. I need to figure out. There's names and terms and definitions for all this stuff. I like all that. It's part of who I am. There you go. But I know the names, not just part of who I am. There's actually names for these things. Okay, so let's go over quickly to the extrinsic people, those weirdos that need outside validation for doing this. No, I'm just joking. That is a joke, people. If that's who you are, then more power to you. I both hate and love you people as well, because it's like, okay, the ego's out there, and it's like, I need people to know what I'm doing for me to be motivated, and they have to say I love it, otherwise I can't do it. That's my whole thing. I need the metrics. Are people listening? People download, like, subscribe, share, rate it 5 stars, all those different things. You know what? If that's your thing, this could be for you. So basically any reason someone does work other than joy of the work itself. So they ultimately want something at the end of this. 3 elements are expectancy, increased effort equals increased performance, instrumentality, performance will be noticed and rewarded, and valence or validating, one reward that is promised. So expectancy, unless there's a specific like mention or something at the end of it, they're not really going to do the work. So why am I doing this thing? Oh, you're going to give me money? Oh, I'll do it then. It's like, okay, I mean, $5,000, $5,000. Some people do stuff because of that. It depends on what it is. If it's a sexual act, I'll do stuff for $5,000. I have no problem with that. Demisexual here, people. So yeah, that kind of thing is like, whatever. Instrumentality. So your performance will be noticed. So put out on the internet, people will like it. Like I said, like, subscribe, share, all those different things. And then valence or validity, So it's a promised reward. You're going to get something specifically for this, or, affirmation. Hey, you did a great job. That does a lot for a lot of people. Words of affirmation, people, love languages, they do it because, oh, yes, I noticed you did this thing and I appreciate it. A lot of people are motivated that way. Another one is incentive, reward rather than achievement of a goal. So instead of like being self-motivated intrinsically because they did something, they get a reward. Like I said, money. I'm just going to keep using money. Favors, all those different kind of things. Ooh, a good old blowjob. If I do this, I get a blowjob. I get my puss eaten. Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's a fun game for me. I don't really need that, but I do love a good old incentive game. I don't know. That's not actually a thing. I just made that up. But yeah. Oh yeah, I better get this strike in here. Otherwise you ain't gonna get your puss eaten. That's the kind of motivation I'm talking about. That's a fun game for me. Also, speaking of fun games, there's a thing called fear play. Now, I am a big mindfucker, but I'm not 100% all the way on board with the fear play. No, I know people that teach this kind of thing, so no judgments from here, but specific fears, like don't put any spiders, throw me off a cliff, none of that kind of thing. But yeah, fear of tickling, I'm down with that. Fear of biting, I'm down. Well, not biting. Let's not say that on the Primal channel here. Specifically biting for like a good 30 minutes. Oh, I love a good threat from biting. I will enjoy it. Person receiving it might not, but yeah, fear of biting for a good 30 minutes. Clothespins is another good one. The spoon. Oh, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the spoon, then I would say you should get motivated to give it a test try. Good old spoon from like back in the day. Us boomer kids. I'm not boomer, not that old, but my parents boomers. We got the spoon. Oh boy, we get the spoon. I have one in my trunk though. That gets a good reaction every single time. Brings you back to your childhood right there. Or not if you're younger. I don't even know when the cutoff was. What generation was that? Z, Y? Then didn't get the spoon anymore. But I'll remind you. Good old Julius will remind you of the spoon. Oh boy. Okay. Last two. Second to last, power. Control over their own lives and lives of others. So yeah, power, motivation, increase life options and control environment. So I can kind of get on board with that. I would like, a nicer place. Doesn't need to be like a 5,000 foot mansion, $80 million house, but I would like more space to do the things. I feel like if there's more separation between all the different hobbies I got going on, I'll be able to keep my mind straight. Neurospicy here. So separation of all the things. If I got a desk and there's like all my hobbies are on it, it's just like the burnout. I look at it and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go to sleep. Too much going on. So being able to control my life more, I feel like if I control my environment, have a bigger space to do with more things, I'll be motivated to do more things. So that part I kind of understand. If anything, this is a spectrum, as I said before. And for me, when I lean over to the extrinsic, it's the power over my environments and my place and all that stuff. All right. And then lastly, we have affiliation and social. So more social stuff here. Social factors like belonging and acceptance, connections. I said that way back a few minutes ago before the audio got better. Seeking connections by contributing to a social group. So for me on the extrinsic side is another thing. I love community and being with like-minded people. Maybe you do too. So if you're wondering about the butt stuff, there's a butt stuff community. There's people that like the butt stuff, like talking about the butt stuff, have all different ways of butt stuff, have all the different toys, and they like talking to you about the toys. So yeah, butt stuff. This whole podcast has been going back to butt stuff. Everybody should try out butt stuff. Julius will watch and enjoy you enjoying yourself with the butt stuff. I will participate with a partner if they really want the butt stuff. That is more of a reward. So extrinsic motivation, they get something out of it. If they really like the butt stuff, they will get the butt stuff from Julius. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the butt stuff talk, aka motivation. Why am I trying the thing? If you are new to like the BDSM lifestyle or non-monogamy or geekdom, I feel for you that you have not experienced it yet. But you're not going to know if you like the thing until you try it. At least that's what I believe. What motivates you to do it, though, is a good question that you should try out for yourself. And hopefully you got some tips from what I said. My time is running out, so we're about to cut this off. Catch us around the Kinky Campfire, and then me specifically on the Pillow Fort sessions, usually Thursdays. I can't even say every second and fourth Thursdays now, but it'll be out. If it comes out, it's on a Thursday, just to let you know. Hopefully you enjoy the start of the new season of the Pillow Fort sessions. But for now, this is Julius, a.k.a. El Comidon, a.k.a. the Cuddle Gigolo. Still looking for that. The entertainment creative. Definitely that. I'm going to need some business cards put out for that kind of thing. But you can catch us on all the major platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google maybe. All those different things. Around the Kinky Campfire. Campfire Kinksters with K's on IG. And we'll catch you next time. And hello.